Hello, everybody. This is Jeff Stanislow, and it's in time for another episode of Let's Go Low here on AM 820, Tampa's Big 8 Radio. We thank you for joining us. We're talking golf, and we got special guests with us today, our friends from Gray Dog Golf, and we're talking about sports writing, sports content, and what have you. We have with us today. Thanks for joining us, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us, Jeff. Looking forward to talking with you.
Hello, Jeff.
Wes Allen and Tom Clifford here. They are the founders of Gray Dog Golf. And let's start off with something simple. Tell us what Gray Dog Golf is all about.
We are a content provider, Jeff, focusing exclusively on the senior golf market. Now, what does that mean? Senior golf is typically described as guys over and gals over 50. We found that the content that we provide, because it's specifically focused on the aging population in golf, morphs anywhere from the mid-40s all the way up to the finish. When Tommy and I started this project, we discovered that there was no content provider that was focusing exclusively on, frankly, what is the largest individual segment of measurable golfers. And after a couple of years now, if you told us a couple of years ago that we'd publish an article and 40 or 45,000 people would read it the next day, we would have said you're out of your mind. But here we are. Tommy?
Yeah, I think that we wrestled around with how to define our market, and senior is the traditional term that's used. We like to say the maturing market, because we're finding a following that skews younger than our initial thought was. As Wes said, in mid-40s, people start experiencing some of the things that we did when Wes and I first started talking about this whole concept, and that is, you don't hit it as far. You can't advance the ball out of the rough with any reliability anymore. Your body aches a little bit after 18 holes of golf, I'm ashamed to say. Those kinds of things, and that resonates with certainly with the traditional senior audience, but as I said, we call a maturing audience, a little bit younger.
Yeah, certainly. This is Jeff Stanislow. You're listening to another episode of Let's Go Low here on AM 820, the Big 8, brought to you by AMAC, the Association of Mature Adult Citizens, amac.us, and Golfers Unite. So we're talking with Wes Allen and Tom Clifford, the founders of Gray Dog Golf, who actually write content that supports the maturing adult citizen in the game of golf. So you guys have been doing this for a while, and you wrote a lot of articles and did a lot of research on this marketplace. What is one of the underlining themes of a maturing golfer that kind of like maybe comes up to the top of your mind that the maturing golfer wants in their golf game?
Yeah, let me jump in on this, Jeff, because this is important. You said something about research. That's my forte. I love researching and doing deep dive data analysis, and we do. We say that nobody tests like we do, and the reason is that Tommy, who sort of drives our direction, is always focused on this word about applicability. And what does that mean? Well, it's in simple terms, for the average golfer, it means that we're not testing golf clubs at 110, 115, 120 mile an hour swing speeds. It just doesn't matter to our audience. So we keep it real. Our trademarked and copyrighted tagline, "Play smarter, better, for longer," really does talk to an understanding of what you're able to do and an embracing of that. But Tommy's key word, and he can touch on this, is applicability. he's constantly telling me, he goes, Wes, appreciate all that deep dive. A, nobody's going to read it. B, nobody cares. And C, can we get back to focusing on the guy that swings his driver 90 miles an 90 miles an hour? And can you give me something on the importance of keeping it in the fairway?
I love it. I love it. Tom Clifford, one of the founders of Grey Dog Golf. Let's talk about that applicability. You're listening to Jeff Stanislow here on the Let's Go Low show.
Yeah. So as Wes said, he is a research fanatic. He's an analytical nut, if you ask me. So he'll go down a rabbit hole and he'll come back to me with, some avenue that he's thinking about. And hey, wouldn't this be really neat? And I kind of, respectfully have to redirect him and say, what does it mean to the maturing golfer, our audience? People are talking about the 24-year-old golfer all over the map, right? We are very, very specialized and focused on the maturing golfer. That's our audience. And as Wes said, we want to help people to play smarter, better, for longer. So we can't overpower a golf course anymore. We have to manage our way more strategically, more mentally around the golf course. And we can still go low, but we have to do it in a different way than we're used to doing.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. We can still go low. I mean, that is a real key to a maturing golf swing. Is you may not hit it as far. You may not be able to make that carry over the water, at 220 anymore, but you can still play the game. You can still play it effectively. We're talking with Tom Clifford and Wes Allen, the founders of Grey Dog Golf. They provide a lot of research and data and analytics and applicability, as Tom likes to call it, into a mature swing. So we appreciate you guys coming on to the Let's Go Low show here, brought to you by Golfers Unite and our friends at amac.us, the Association of Mature Adult Citizens. This is your host, Jeff Stanislow. All right, you guys do the data, you crunch the numbers. Let's talk about the 90 mile an hour, 85 mile an hour swing speed that a mature adult citizen has. What are you finding are the best clubs that, fit this kind of swing speed that, the shafts, what have you? The floor is yours.
I think that the key thing that we've found over the last couple of years in doing this, and it's also important to preface this by saying that, I've been in the golf industry as an investor or an owner for 37 years, and I've seen all of the companies come and rise and go. And that is not a statement of boasting, but that's a statement of just what we've seen and what we've learned from it. You mentioned shafts. We've been down this road countless times in the last few years, and one of the things that we've come up with is this: there is a shaft for you. But it's for you. It's not for me. It's not for you. And what does that mean? Test them all. Test them for different segments of your golf bag, for example. Now you may be a 70-year-old guy, but I have seen many times where a lightweight, stiff shaft for a 70-year-old is perfect because it's about your swing type. And what we've done and what Tommy has particularly done is we drive these manufacturers hard to address our market. We really beat the daylights out of them. We work with them all. We travel to see them. They come to see us, but we pound on them to develop product for the biggest market in golf. And Tommy should talk about that. Actually, this is the biggest segment in active golf.
Yeah, this is Jeff Stanislow. You're listening to our friends, Wes Allen and Tom Clifford at Grey Dog Golf. We're talking a little bit about the maturing citizens' swing speed and maybe finding the right club for them. And it's not just like, hey, let's go buy XXIO or XEO. as some people call it, because they're marketing that. It's about finding the right shaft for the right swing speed, and you recommend people, go get fitted and tested for that. Tom, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. So we're big advocates of whatever the state of your game is. First of all, work with a good teaching pro who understands the limitations of, say, a 50-year-old golfer and his swing versus a very nimble 22-year-old golfer. So work with a pro that understands your limitations. That's going to take the time with you, but then also work with a club fitter that has an equal understanding. And sometimes that teaching pro, and the fitter can work together to find the best solution for your swing, whatever it may be. And as Wes said, there are so many different options right now. I recently did a little video in my little workshop downstairs, and I've got, I don't know, hundreds of clubs. Most of them they were hand-me-downs from Wes anyway, but hundreds of clubs just sitting in bags that, so-and-so hit this one pretty good. Let me try that out. Or I like the look of this one. Let me try that out. No science behind it at all. But we've come to the conclusion in all of this research that we've done is, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are specialists out there. Find a good one that works with you. Doesn't cost a lot of money. In fact, in the long run, it's going to save you money because you're not going to waste money chasing the latest widget or the latest club that you saw a tour pro use, which has a swing that has nothing in common with you. Let me just go back for a second to what Wes mentioned about this is the biggest single market in golf. Fully 52% of every dollar that's spent in the golf industry, and we're talking about balls, clubs, shafts, lessons, fittings, tee times, cart fees. Fully 52% of that comes from golfers that are in our segment, that are older than, I don't know exactly the number Wes would tell you, but 47 years old and up.
That's good.
And those folks are playing a lot longer than they used to. Wes, what's that statistic that you like to cite about age 55 and older?
Oh yeah. So 55. Yeah. In simple terms, Jeff, 55 cents out of every dollar is spent in golf is spent by a guy that's 55 and over.
Oh, the 55, the double nickel quote. I like it.
The double nickel quotes, right? The Tommy is a big advocate for a big advocate. It is a contradictory term, but a big advocate for dispelling the myth or the fallacy or the weakness in the grow your game statement. Now we're all for it. We get it. Grow your game. Get the young people involved in golf. This is a fabulous enterprise, and we support it wholeheartedly. As a matter of fact, again, I was one of the original contributors to First Tee. Way back when the PGA Tour brought it to us, I said, yes, we'll get in on this.
Fantastic.
Here's what you have to understand. Grow Your Game is funded by Grey Dog golfers, the senior market. We get it. Frequent rounds of golf last year, Jeff, our category was number one.
Right.
Frequent rounds of golf played. The 32 million rounds of golf played in the category of frequent golfers. 14.6 million of those were from golfers over 50 years old.
Wow. It's a powerful market segment. That's for sure. This is Jeff Stanislaw, and you're listening to Let's Go Low here on AM 820, The Big Eight. And our special guests is Wes Allen and Tom Clifford from Grey Dog Golf joining us here today. This segment's brought to you by golfersunite.com and our friends at amac.us. We got a minute or two left here, gentlemen. In your research, and I'd love to have you guys come back and we maybe make this kind of a something we do, quite often and talk about this because you guys have the data, you have the resources, you have the content that we would love to share with our listening audience. But let's get down to the nitty gritty. If you had to choose a ball, what ball would you choose? And if you had to choose a club as a 55-year-old person that swings the club 90 miles an hour, what are the couple ones that you would recommend? And then also tell us how someone can find more of your stories and more of your information, or reach out and contact you. We got about a minute left.
Sure. Well, again, we're huge advocates of fitting. It's hard to give a recommendation for a single club or a single ball that covers, the universe. But, we also talk about getting fit for a ball. Get out on the golf course around the green. We know that 70% of all of our strokes in a round happen within 70 yards of the hole. So you're going to chase distance for a ball that you hit off of a tee about 14 times with your
Exactly.
driver, right? Instead, go out there, practice with a couple of different balls that you think you like around the green. Start on the green. What gives you the most confidence in putting on the green and around the green? 70% of our shots happen within 70 yards. Why would you not find the best ball that does what you want it to do in that space? Okay. So we like ice golf
You
balls
guys
very much.
you guys are giving me the politically correct answer. The no answer answer. I love it. I love it.
No.
Hey guys, Tom Clifford, Wes Allen from Gray Dog Golf. You guys want to check out their great content? I suggest you do. You can just search up Gray Dog Golf. They'll be found. This is another episode of Let's Go Low here with Jeff Stanislaw, brought to you by golfersunite.com and our friends at amac.us. Gentlemen, I appreciate your time, and I definitely want to have you back on to talk some more information. Does that sound good to you?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's definitely do it. Thank you.
Thank you.